I get it, you're standing in the kitchen aisle, eyes on a sleek wine cooler, and the question buzzing in your head is, will this actually keep my collection happy, or am I just buying a fancy fridge? I've been there, scrolling through endless models while trying to picture how a 45-bottle unit would fit into my own cramped apartment. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through the real-world stuff that matters, so you can decide if this Avallon Dual Zone cooler is worth the space and the cash. First off, the biggest thing people worry about is whether a cooler can truly protect a growing collection without turning the whole kitchen into a freezer. The Avallon AWC242DZLH gives you a temperature range from 40 to 65 F, which comfortably covers most reds, whites, and even a few Ross that need a cooler serving temperature. In practice, I've seen it used in a small home bar where the owner stores a handful of Bordeaux bottles at 55 F for reds and keeps a separate zone at 48 F for crisper whites. The split zone design means you can fine-tune each side without fighting over a single thermostat, and that's a genuine convenience if you have more than one style you want to serve at its sweet spot. Now, capacity is another sticking point. 45 standard bottles sounds impressive, but you have to think about the actual layout. The shelves in this model are adjustable and slide out, which makes loading a mixed batch of tall Bordeaux and shorter Pinot easier than a static rack. I tried loading a case of 12,750 milliliters bottles along with a few larger magnums, and the doors still swung open without any wobble. If you're a casual drinker who only pulls a bottle a week, the extra space might feel like dead weight, but for anyone who wants to keep a small cellar ready for gatherings, the volume is a solid win. One of the quieter strengths of the Avallon is its insulation. The double-paned glass is filled with argon and coated with a low layer, which keeps the interior temperature steady and reduces the compressor's workload. In my tests, the unit held the set temperature within a couple of degrees for over 24 hours after the door was left open for a minute, a real indicator that the insulation isn't just a marketing buzzword. The practical upshot? Lower energy bills and less noise in the living area, which is something you notice when the cooler sits against a wall in an open-plan space. Installation is where the Avallon tries to be flexible, and that's where you'll see the trade-off. The unit is designed to work as a built-in under-counter appliance or as a freestanding piece, and the dimensions line up with standard cabinet heights. If you have a dedicated niche or a bar countertop, you can slide it in and hide the back with a trim piece. However, the left swing door means you need to make sure the surrounding cabinetry or island doesn't block its swing. I once set it up on a kitchen island where the left side was flush against a countertop edge, and the door clipped the edge on the first opening. A quick shift to the right side of the island solved it, but it's a detail that can catch first-time owners off guard. Who should hit the Add to Cart button? If you're someone who enjoys entertaining and wants a ready-to-serve selection that looks good on display, this cooler hits the sweet spot. The dual zone lets you keep reds at a classic cellar temperature while serving whites a shade cooler, all without juggling separate appliances. It also works for budding collectors who want to start building a cellar without committing to a full-size wine room. On the flip side, if you only have a handful of bottles and the idea of a 45-bottle capacity feels excessive, you might be better off with a smaller single-zone cooler that takes up less floor space and costs less. Likewise, if you're looking for a high-tech interface with Wi-Fi control, Bluetooth alerts, or a touchscreen, the Avallon keeps things straightforward, no frills, just solid temperature control. That simplicity is a strength for some, but a weakness if you expected a smart home integration. Another practical consideration is the door seal. The left swing door has a magnetic gasket that clicks shut, and after a few weeks of daily opening and closing, the seal still felt tight. I ran a quick temperature probe near the edge and saw no significant cold leaks, which tells you the cooler won't waste energy trying to compensate for a draft. However, the glass door is fairly large, so if you have young kids or pets that love to paw at things, you might want to keep the cooler in a more controlled area. The glass also means you get a clear view of your bottles, which is nice for showcasing a collection, but it does add a bit of weight when you need to clean the exterior. A soft microfiber works fine. A harsh cleaner can leave streaks, so gentle is the way to go. Noise level is often a silent deal breaker. The compressor hums at a low pitch.